Welcome everyone, my name is Dan, for those of you that are joining us first time. And this is Hackney Marshes in London. Friday morning, I would say typical London weather. Fairly damp, not as cold, but we're here in this wonderful open space and we will do a little bit of movement. It's been a while that I did one of these sessions, but I figured as I was quite busy and I was going in between sessions, having a little bit of time, why not recording some movement snacky stuff, okay? So this is open for all levels and I'm using mic since ages, so hopefully you can hear me okay as well. So first things first, if you have any limitations or any injuries, just use the common sense, respect your body. And we're gonna stand and start standing upright. So feet comfortably apart. Before we begin with the physical work, always good idea to just bring awareness inside to your body, seeing how you feel, seeing what your baseline is for today. So before we begin, we're gonna do 15 times deep long inhalation in through your nose and then longer exhalations out through your mouth. So let's say 3 to 5 seconds inhalation and then 6 to 8 seconds exhalations. You can also keep your eyes open, keep your eyes closed. You can have your hands resting, or you can have your hands on your belly, on your rib cage, just so you can feel the expansion. Okay, so 15 times in your own time. Let's give it a go. And slowly give yourself a few more moments until you finish. And then coming back into the room or into any space you're doing the practice. Let's move on. Okay, so we're going to start with some arm swings, so some rotational patterns. To begin with, we're going to do 2. Being in this position, be free not to stay grounded if you want to, especially if you have space as you go towards one side, lifting the opposite heel, and other way around. So we're going to do 1, 2, fairly horizontal, arms are facing down, and then you're going to go upwards. So 1, 2, okay? But as always, this is just a suggestion, so if you want to do a couple of, let's say 2 to 3 reps per each side and then going up, that's also fine, okay? So prepare, keep it nice and loose, nice and relaxed, emptying your limbs. Let's go. and gradually fading out. Let's move on. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to focus on two patterns, so global flexion and global extension. So I'm going to go slightly sideways so you can see. I want to go wider with my feet. You can go wider, even wider if you wish. Wider than your hip width, I would say. I'm going to have my hands on my lower back and my pelvis, edge of the pelvis, just so I'm aware of what's happening with my hips as I want to go in a hinge. Obviously, if you have tender hamstrings or tightness there, you can always bend your knees and still doing the hinge. And the easiest way if you struggle with the hinge pattern is as you go downwards, you want to keep the extension of the spine and driving your hips back, okay? So how low can I go without rounding my spine, keeping my spine straight, and I'm looking in front without bending my knees, feeling the stretch in my hamstrings, and then from there, I can soften my knees. I need to bend my knees a little bit. I'm going to engage my glutes as I go in the hip extension, and then I'm going to go into extension. How much extensions you want to go with, that's entirely up to your level of flexibility and the comfort. Some people also prefer really to extend their necks. If this feels a bit tender, you can always just kind of tuck your chin to the chest or keep it in a neutral position, whatever that is. Notice your breath. It's very easy, especially as you go in extension, to kind of hold your breath. So be mindful of that. Try not to have too much tension. Take your time. Gradually build up going further and further, and also a good challenge can be, can I look at the horizon behind me, okay? While keeping my glutes engaged, pausing for a second, and then slowly transitioning back into flexion. Prepare, let's see how it goes, and ready when you are. And coming to a stop. Okay, so as we kind of started going downwards towards the hips, so we're gonna stick around here. We're gonna work on a sequence that combines both active flexibility, so working against the gravity, working on the hip flexion, and a little bit of twisty, a little bit of single leg balance, and also a little bit of twisty squat, curtsy squat of sorts. So we're gonna go from side to side slowly, without rushing, and the sequence is as follows. So I'm going to start first on my right leg. I lift my left leg, I try to extend as high as I can, and then I'm going to pivot. Obviously you can make it easier by keeping the leg closer to the floor, but as I pivot, this leg, you can bend your knee, it doesn't need to be straight. I want to first end up here in the single leg hinge, and only then pause for a second or two, and then place, I'm going to change the location, then from here place that leg somewhere on the line. The further you go in the same line, the harder it will be, so somewhere diagonal, making sure your knees are not touching, and then you do the curtsy squat, okay? So rotational squat, and then you go up, and then you're gonna switch sides, just so we can keep it, keep the quality and keeping it relatively fresh. If you lose balance here and there, that's fine. Try to slow down. I always see people rushing with this one, so in order to make it smooth and controlled, slow down. Pro tip. Okay, so prepare. And let's see how it goes. Almost lost balance on the last one. Beautiful, let's move on. Okay, so the next one, we're gonna start going closer to the floor. Still a little bit of hip action, a little bit of side bending of the spine, and a little bit of support with the arm, and a little bit of reaching, a little bit of everything. So you're gonna start, you're gonna make it as smoothly as possible. I would say go wider apart, just because you're gonna go in a supported lunge. And what by that, I mean, my right arm is almost gonna do all the reaching part. So from here, as I begin, the floor is a bit wet. I was thinking going with the fist, but I'm gonna place my flat hand on the floor. It's okay, I'll survive. As I go down in the stretch, notice this, I'm reaching, my right leg is forward, my left hand is on the side. I'm making sure I have support, making sure I have enough space. My left hip is as low as possible, and as I reach with my right arm upwards, I also twist, okay? So notice this action from this angle. As I go down, I go in external rotation of the hip and kind of twisting inwards with this one. Okay? As I go up, I'm gonna go back to this side so you can see. As I go up, I straighten my legs, and then I go in a side bend with a bit of rotation to the left side with my right arm. And then again, I go to this one, and then again, I go to the left one. You can add a little bit of extension if you wish. First, we're gonna do one side, and then I'll let you know when to switch. There's a bit of dog poo here. Nice. Lots of little doggies here. It's really nice. Missing my Bella, my Beautiful dog from Croatia. Hi, Bella. Prepare, and let's go. Switch sides. Beautiful. Roughly 8 to 10 reps each side. Let's move on. Okay, and now we're gonna slowly start transitioning even closer to the floor. We're gonna be in on all four, kinda. We're gonna change supports, and we're gonna have a sequence that, you know, it's inspired, like many of these elements. I didn't invent any hot water, neither so many other teachers, although they like to claim something else. It's just basically a mix of martial arts, mix of yoga, mix of a mix like animal flow and so on, mix of capoeira. And really the goal is for you to feel good, to mobilize your body without any judgment and without any dogma, obviously while respecting the heritage of each of these practices. So anyway, I'm blubbering too much. I'm gonna start on all fours. All these have their own names. In some practices they have different names, but I'm gonna go with the animal flow names, although I might butcher them as well. So you're gonna start in downward dog, keeping your hips fairly high, making sure your feet are not too close to the wrists or too far. So here, what I wanna do, I'm gonna start first with let's say my left leg. I'm gonna extend my hip, I'm gonna reach my knee as high as possible, and then in this top position, it's not just about hip extension, I also add a bit of a twist as I bring my head through. I pause for a second, then I lean forwards as I push through my shoulder, keeping my core engaged. I go with the same knee to the same elbow, then I go up again, and then I start bringing that left knee under as I pivot on my right toes, on the ball of the foot. I lift my right hand, I place my left foot on the floor, hips up, I extend, externally rotate to my shoulder, I reach as high as I can, pausing for a second, reverse, same thing. So reach one, knee to the elbow, reach two, and then going under smoothly, and then reach into single arm bridge, rotational bridge, heels off the floor or off the floor, whichever you prefer. Always try to track the reaching arm with your eyes. So we're gonna do, let's say 5 reps one side, then 5 reps other side before we move on. Okay, prepare. And let's go. Beautiful. Before we switch, just do a little bit of shake, a bit sniffly. Either jumping or keeping your heels on the floor, keeping your toes on the floor, but relaxing upper body. Always good to add a little bit of bounciness to your practice. Let's do the other side. So I did my left leg, now my right leg is gonna travel. I might just change the location a little bit and the angle so you can see. Ready? Let's go. And voila, let's move on. Beautiful, and we're slowly coming closer towards the end part. And I want to finish with a little bit of, so it's not all flowy and slow. I want to finish with a little bit of sort of conditioning, in the absence of a better word, part, where we're going to combine, I'm pretty sure these are called Hindu squats. So the intention is almost like you're skiing. Intention is as you're lowering down, almost like you're doing sissy squat, but keeping your torso fairly upright. You swing your arms as you're going down, you swing and you lift your heels off the floor. You swing your arms from back upwards to kind of create a little bit of momentum to get yourself up. It's a really nice way to condition your knees and your legs in general. So we're gonna do this for 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna do criss-cross pattern, 3 reps each side. So that means 3 times each leg going in front. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, and so on, okay? So I don't have timer here, so I'm kind of estimating. I'm gonna do roughly 1 minute or so, just to elevate the heart rate nicely. The jump doesn't need to be high. You don't need, even if it's a very small cross, that's fine. You don't need to go like super crazy. So as always, just listen to your body, use your common sense. Sometimes easier said than done. And if you wanna maybe do 3 or 5 reps of these, that's fine. Play with the rep scheme. This is just a suggestion. Ready? And let's give it a go. fading out. Walk it off a little bit. Make sure you don't suddenly just stop. Making sure your heart rate starts to calm down as you bring your awareness back to your breath. I should really start running more. Got myself brand new shoes, running shoes in Croatia a few weeks ago. Went on a run only once. Strength training, mobility training, all the other training is great, but you need to load your bones, muscles, rather than loading impact. Impact is important. Plus all the cardio work. Okay. As you kind of ease yourself in, back to your center, this is what we're gonna exactly do. And the same way we started, we're gonna finish, but maybe let's say rather than 15, we're gonna do 10 deep inhalations, 10 deep exhalations. Okay, so in your own time, either eyes closed, open, whichever you prefer. Let's give it a go. And gradually coming back into the room or in the space. Thank you so much for joining. That was refreshing. I always say this, I might do it more often and then I don't, so like many things in the life. So I'll try to do more of these because I really enjoy them. They do require some energy. I need to be fairly fresh for it, and I move a lot, I teach a lot, I'm everywhere, so forgive me apart from shorts on YouTube that I didn't share much. So I do these type of sessions fairly frequently, every Wednesday. I already have like 40 plus sessions, and for very minimal amount of money, which is like £25 per month, you get access, lifetime access to all of these sessions and upcoming sessions. So be free to check that on my website, Physical Empowerment, which is going to be in the link below. So if you like the session, please like, share, subscribe. And I really appreciate your time and effort. And yeah, nice to move again together with other people. See you soon. Take care.